and transmission line stub matching, and finite transmission line as well as infinite transmission line characteristics. So today in this class, we will discuss about the Smith chart and its application. It's the last concept in our 5th unit. See, first of all, what is a Smith chart? And through this, what we are going to find? Impedances, voltages, currents all repeat every half wavelength, which means that impedance, voltage, currents and remaining parameters all repeat every half of the wavelength. So the magnitude of the reflection coefficient and standing wave ratios SWR do not change. So they characterizes the voltage and current pattern on the line. If the load impedance is normalized by the characteristic impedance of the line, the voltage currents impedance still have the same properties, but the result can be generalized to any line with the same normalized impedance. See, so actually for a transmission line, so we have to calculate the characteristics. We have a formula to finding the reflection coefficient. We have a formula for calculating the SWR, and we have the formula for finding the wavelength and velocities. So these are the primary on propagation constants. So these are all the primary parameters. So where we have to see in our transmission lines, such as same parameters can be calculated with the help of the graphical representation. So with the help of the any graph, is it possible to recognizing the SWR? Is it possible to recognizing the reflection coefficient? Is it possible to recognizing the input impedance without doing of calculations by manually? So we need to get those values by visualizing from the graph. So that is the importance of the Smith chart. We can able to calculate of characteristic impedance, all primary and secondary parameters of a transmission line without having a simplification. So by seeing the Smith chart, we can able to tell the values. So that the Smith chart is a clever tool for analyzing the transmission lines. It is a tool for analyzing the transmission line. Outside of the chart shows that location on the line in a wavelength. So the combination of the intersecting circles inside the chart allows us to locate the normalized impedance and then find the impedance at anywhere. So we have a Smith chart, we will have a circles and arcs and two outermost circles that I will show you the chart representation. So this one is the chart. So this is the Smith chart or a graph. So we have a outer circles. See here, outer circles. This one is the first circle, this is the second circle. These two circles can be represented by the wavelengths and by the angles that he is saying. And inside the circle, inside the Smith chart, we will have a circles. See, these are the circle. We will have a circles as well as the will have the arcs. So these are all the arcs. See, it's a combination of circles and arcs, and outermost we will recognizing the two circles. So those are measured by the wavelengths. See, so this is the circle of a Smith chart, and this one is the arc of the Smith chart, and this is the zeroth value and keep on going. The normalization load is the source side, and left hand side is the source and right hand side is the load side. So whenever the circle is moving towards anti-clockwise direction, that is, we can say it is a, the load is moving towards the source side, and the circle is moving towards the clockwise direction, it is saying that it is moving towards the load side. So from this we can able to find the reflection coefficient. And so for example, we want to find the reflection coefficient with the help of the Smith chart. Means, see here in the problem itself it represents tau equal to 0.447 and angle of some degrees. So reflection coefficient, such a same value we want to represent on a Smith chart. So this is the problematic. So here the reflection coefficient values, Z naught is the formula 1 plus tau divided by 1 minus tau. Tau already given, we can substitute tau values there, we will get the Z naught value. But so without doing all these things, we can able to get these values through the Smith chart. So now how to represent a impedance value on the Smith chart means, initially so they will give the impedance and they will give the normalized impedance value also Z naught. You can go for the dividing of Z by Z naught, we will get the normalized impedance to 100 plus j into 50 divided by 50 means 2 plus j, that is 2 plus j value. So this can be represents on a Smith chart is 2 plus j is here. So 2 plus j is here. So this is the point representation of the impedance on the Smith chart. So impedance is, so next, so here we are giving a different types of impedances: 100 plus j 50, 75 plus 75 minus j into 100, 0 plus j into 200, 150 plus 0. So these are all the impedance values. So we cannot able to this the on a Smith chart maximum reflection coefficient value minus 1 2. So 1 2 minus 1, 1 2 minus 1. So these are the impedance values that has to be located on the Smith chart. So for that, the normalized value for 50 ohms, you can divide the Z1 by 50, Z2 by 50, you will get the all normalized impedance values. Those are 2 plus j, 1.5 minus 2j. So these are the normalized impedance values. So this can be located on the Smith chart for a different location. Z1 is here, Z2 is here, Z3 is here, and Z4, Z5, Z6. These are the locations on the Smith chart. And see the first step analyzing the transmission line into the location or normalized load impedance on the chart. That is the first step that we have done here. So these are the normalized, these just impedances, these impedances can be converted into normalized impedances. So by dividing the Z naught with respect to Z1, I will get Z1 normalized Z1 value, and Z2, that is the first step in a Smith chart. And next circle is drawn from the representation of the reflection coefficient SWR, and point out the circle rotate clockwise to move towards the generator from the load. The distance moved on the, so these are the proceedings for locating a point on the Smith chart. See here towards the whenever, so away from the generator towards the generator, the constant circle, constant reflection coefficient circle in the scales in a wavelength. So these are all the scales in the wavelength. Full circle is one half of the wavelength. So that is equal to lambda by 2. Whenever we are having full circle, that can be represented in terms of lambda wavelength. So that can be lambda by 2. The total wavelength in a Smith chart is 720 degrees. So these are the reference sites. So these are the reference sites. So it's a tool, standing wave pattern, a tool. Through the tool we can able to find the Smith chart values. So load impedance, so this is, see, normally set a load, that is J equal to 50 plus J 100. So whereas normalized values can be converted into load impedance 1 plus J into 2 J omega, and road reflection coefficient is 0.707. So that can be pointed out through the Smith chart. So this is the, through the tool we are going to calculating the values without doing of any manual simplification. And stub matching. So through the Smith chart we can have a scope to recognizing the stub matching. Stub matching is nothing but adding extra impedance values in between or at the end of the transmission line for avoiding of reflections. See, whenever we are having the reflections, it says that the loss is high. To overcome that loss, we are going to injecting some impedances to the transmission line. That injecting impedances is nothing but stubbing. So if you are introducing two impedance values for a transmission line for a two different location, so that is called as a double stub matching. If you are introducing only one impedance at a particular point on a transmission line, so then it can be considered as a single stub matching. So that is a load of a example is, see here, the load of 100 plus J into 100 ohms on 50 ohm transmission line. The frequency is 1 gigahertz. Want to place a open circuit stub somewhere on the transmission line to match the load to the line. So for this load, so this frequency is can be, the want to place an open circuit for stub where some more somewhere on the line to match the load. So you want to, for step by step analysis, you go through this link. See, so this one is the half of the stub matching tool. This is the source end, this one is the destination end, and so from this we are going to providing a matching line, that is a ZL is here. F naught the frequency is 1 gigahertz. So all parameters is input GUI, so where we are giving all input values, according to that it simulates and it will provides the response through the tool. So step by step how the tool will work means, identify the normalized load impedance. The normalized load impedance is Z0, that is 50. Step 1, and plot the circle of the radius is tau. So this is the circle of the radius. Third step, identify the normalized load admittance. The circle of impedance, opposite to the impedance we are finding the admittance. If it is the impedance, we can extend this line, this red line. We can extend this line and that line will meet the circle of pink, then this can be considered as the admittance.